This is Terry Jones speaking for Nautilus Sports Medical Industries. In 1968, Nautilus introduced a totally new concept, full-range exercise. 2 years later, in 1970, the first Nautilus machine was delivered to a customer. During the following 12 years, the Nautilus name became a household word, the recognized leader in the fields of exercise and sports medicine. Now, in 1982, Nautilus is proud to announce another revolutionary improvement in the field of exercise. ISO exercise, the first source of truly full-range exercise during a compound movement. Until recently, it was considered to be utterly impossible to provide full-range resistance during a compound exercise. But this supposedly impossible problem has been solved by Nautilus. Nautilus Sports Medical Industries owns and operates the largest and most sophisticated television production facility in the world. The largest and the most unique in a number of important respects. Important in the field of exercise and important in a number of areas related to human performance research. And now I want to show you a very special piece of electronic equipment, the AVA. And just what does the AVA do? Almost anything. With this electronic pen, I can program the AVA for a literally infinite number of functions. Just watch. And how does this relate to exercise? Watch this. Experiments that were previously very difficult become easy with the AVA. A videotaped subject in the squat machine becomes an animated drawing, making it possible to study his range of movement with great accuracy. The information provided by such experiments is of enormous value in the field of exercise. Earlier experiments with high-speed photography were far slower, much more expensive, and a great deal less accurate. At the moment, a great deal of controversy exists on a very important point, a point that can be established in a manner beyond dispute with the AVA. The exact location of rotational axis points in the human body is still the subject of heated debate. But now, with the use of the AVA, the precise axis of rotation can be established in almost any human movement in a matter of minutes. The following demonstration will establish this point very clearly. In this example, the subject is seated in a Nautilus leg machine, and a black cross mark is made on the leg as a required reference point. Next, the subject is videotaped while performing the movement being studied, in this case, the leg extension. Thirdly, the videotaped movement is fed into the AVA, frozen in at least 3 positions, and a circle is then drawn by the AVA. This circle must pass through all 3 of the X marks. And when it does, the center of that circle is the exact axis of the knee joint. Prior to 1968, full-range exercise simply did not exist. Nautilus changed that situation with the first truly scientific research in the field of exercise. Simple as it may appear from the outside, the knee joint is actually a very complex mechanism, not so simple on the inside. But simple or not, the AVA solves the problem in a matter of minutes. But a far more complex situation exists in other areas of the body, in the lower back, for example. Just how do you locate the effective axis of rotation in such a movement involving a number of vertebrae? Here again, the AVA provides the answer. When 3 or more points of reference are intersected by a circle, then the center of that circle is the effective axis of rotation. Without this knowledge, designing such a machine properly would be impossible. The machine shown here is an early prototype of the new Nautilus lower back machine. Unfortunately, the production model of this machine was not available at the time of this video production. The most important feature of this exercise is the fact that compression forces are not involved on the spine, a bad feature in most exercises for this area of the body. In many respects, this new lower back machine may well be the most important product ever produced by Nautilus, since most people do have problems with the lower back sooner or later, and since many of these problems are a direct result of a lack of proper exercise. 20 years of research was required to produce the first single-axis Nautilus machine, and now, after 14 more years of research, the first source of full-range resistance in a compound exercise has also been provided, and again, provided by Nautilus. Historically, the squat has always been considered the single most productive exercise, but at the same time, the squat has also been considered to be a dangerous exercise. So which is it, productive or dangerous? The truth is, the squat is both productive and dangerous when performed in the usual style with a barbell. Nautilus has worked on that problem for the last 14 years, attempting to retain the productive potential of the squat while reducing or eliminating the danger. While it is obviously impossible to totally remove the chance of injury from any human activity, it is just as obvious that the new Nautilus squat machines are far safer than any other type of squat. Safer for several very important reasons. First, the exercise is performed with only one leg at a time, and the compression forces on the spine are thereby reduced by approximately 50%. Secondly, the machine is entered in the mid-range position, making entry both safe and simple. It isn't necessary to force your way into the machine while under a load, and for the same reason, it's impossible to get stuck in the low position of the squat. So entry and exit are both simple and safe. Thirdly, even the much reduced compression forces are spread over a far greater area of contact, which results in a much safer exercise and a far more comfortable one at the same time. Fourthly, it's impossible to lose your balance and fall, a real danger with a barbell squat. And last but not least, your back is supported in the proper position. The potential danger caused by bending your back under a load is greatly reduced and removed entirely if the exercise is performed properly. So by this point, it should be obvious that the Nautilus squat is far safer than any other type of squatting. But what about its productive potential as an exercise? The productive potential of the squat has not merely been retained, it has been improved, enormously improved. And the results? Far more than we even dared to hope for. 14 years of research and development produced the single most productive tool in the history of exercise, the Duo-Squat machine by Nautilus.